All set to go. The officiating crew headed by the referee, Bob Frederick. Wersing has the opening whistle, and we're away. Danny Reese at the 5-yard line. Bobbles it momentarily back to the 15, 20. And is decked at the 23. And the Buccaneers have put it in play from there. Earl Carr, number 31, making the stop. Tampa backfield, Mike Ray, the former Oakland player. He's starting his 5th game here on in relief of Doug Williams, Lewis Carter, and Charlie White. White been with the club just a month or so. Tampa Bay receivers, Larry Mucker is starting in place of Morris Owens, who is sidelined somewhat with a groin muscle pull. And the Tampa Bay offensive line. But the only area of the Tampa Bay team that really hasn't been hit hard in the injury department is the defensive backfield. 1st and 10. Homecoming for Mike Ray. Played in Southern Cal, and of course also backup man with the Oakland Raiders, and he goes upstairs right off the bat. Wasting no time whatsoever as he went after the big tight end, Jimmy Giles. Bob Jury, number 26, was back defending.
This may be the tempo for the rest of the afternoon as you take a look at the San Francisco defensive line. Archie Reese getting a start. Jimmy Webb and Gallagher have both done very well on the inside for San Francisco. And, of course, Cedric Hardman. You see the linebackers headed by Danny Buns. And then there is the defensive backfield for San Francisco.
2nd and 10. Bucs ball at their 23. They come in with a record of 5-9. Slot formation right with Mucker in the slot to give us to the second man through. That's Lewis Carter, number 32. He crosses the 25, gets out to the 27 where Dan Buns, number 57, wraps him up. Buns was one of 3 49ers who was named to the NFL's all-rookie team during this past year. Carter, of course, one of the original Buccaneers, picked up in the veterans allocation draft, done a good job over the last couple of seasons. 3rd down. Bucs still need 5 for the 1st down. One setback. That was Carter as they went to the double wing. Ray with excellent protection trying to hit Johnny McKay, and we get a flag dropped at midfield. Pass interference call coming up, I'm sure, the 49ers as McKay was really decked.
Yes, I think Eddie Lewis hit him a little bit too soon. As the ball came down, he went down and did a simple turn-in. As you can see, only 1 remaining back, and Ray has some time to throw the ball. He suffered a lot of sacks in the past few weeks. But you're going to see Lewis hit him just before the ball arrives, and that's a no-no. And there is contact as McKay went down. I guess he's up and okay, but it's a 1st down for Tampa Bay.
Pass interference against the 49ers. 1st and 10, Bucs at their 46-yard line. Ray's biggest problem since coming into the lineup has been getting sacked. He's been sacked 31 times. 5 times last week against Green Bay. That's in 5 games. Going wide, very short yardage is Charlie White, number 28.
Bob Jury up there with a nice tackle, got up there and was at the line of scrimmage. And when you get those defensive backs up there that quickly, you're going to stop them there. There's the final score. Look at this. Dallas 31, Philadelphia 13. So the Cowboys did not let up, even though they've cinched their division. And New York Giants shut out St. Louis 17-0.
2nd and 9. Buccaneers with the ball at their 47-yard line. Here comes a blitz on Ray. Dumps the ball off, gets it away. That'll be good for a 1st down to Carter at the 42-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Ed Bradley, number 54, made the stop as the 49ers were burned on the blitz. And we gave you that figure on Mike Ray being sacked 31 times in 5 games. To contrast with that, in 9 games previous to that, Doug Williams was sacked just 4 times. Yet Ray is regarded as a better runner, but I guess he's used to playing in front of that Oakland offensive line.
Yes, he does have a tendency to stay in that pocket, even though he is a good runner.
Buccaneers on the move after taking the opening kickoff. Straight handoff goes to Charlie White. Picks up 2 to the 40-yard line. White was with the Jets last year and was cut in training camp by New York this year. He's out of Bethune-Cookman and was picked up about a month ago when the Buccaneers ran into all kinds of injury problems in their backfield. Ricky Bell went down. Jimmy DuBose went down. They got a fine performance out of George Ragsdale last week against Green Bay, and he went down with a shoulder injury. 2nd down, 8. Tampa Bay at the San Francisco 40-yard line. Mucker in the slot off to the left side. 49ers faking the blitz. Carter bouncing off a tackle at the line of scrimmage and reaching the 35, maybe the 34-yard line before Dan Bunz, number 57, and Ed Gallagher, number 75, pick him up.
And a great run by Carter. Didn't get all that many yards, but watch Joe Harris, number 50, a head-on collision right there with Joe Harris, number 50, and Carter just spins away and gets some good, tough yardage. Lewis Carter.
Third down. Bucs need 3 for the first down. Nose of the football is just inside the San Francisco 35-yard line. Tampa Bay's got Frank Grant in it, a wide receiver. Here's Carter in trouble. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage at the 37-yard line. Saw the door close to the left, tried to come back, and ran into heavy traffic. Joe Harris, number 50, leading the charge. Let's see if we got a penalty. Yep, going to be a holding call upcoming against Tampa Bay. See what the 49ers will elect to do here. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It's intended for the private use of our audience and any rebroadcast.
Number 72, refuse to be fourth down.
And to complete my thought, there any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. The holding penalty against Gary Petts declined. So it's fourth down, punting situation. Dave Green's going to have to perform double duty for the Bucs, not only punting but place kicking as well, as their place kicker Neil O'Donoghue was injured last week. Jack Steptoe, number 87, is one of the deep men, but it goes instead to Mike Schumann, number 84, and Schumann is written out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So the 49ers will put it in play offensively for the first time this afternoon. The stop made by Aaron Brown. We're scoreless with 11 minutes left in the opening period. Welcome back to Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California. 49ers have the ball, first and 10 at their 23. I don't know why they're going from artificial turf back to natural grass, but I do know that the players call this Candlestone Park. They say it is a little bit hard, this artificial surface. Scott Bull, the former Arkansas star, is the 49ers quarterback. Harrison on the wing off to the left side. Good defense. Buccaneers fire right through. Bill Kohler, number 77, the former Cincinnati Bengal.
Kohler is playing for the injured Leroy Selman, who is out with a knee injury. It's another one of all those injuries that Tampa Bay has had. 16 men, as we mentioned, on injured reserve. A lot of other teams have been hurt. I don't know if it's the added schedule, having league games earlier in the season, or what.
Loss of 3 by Bob Farrell on that last play. He was their leading rusher, had his best day ever in a 49er uniform last week. We get movement prior to the snap as Dave Pear, the middle guard, the nose guard of the Buccaneers, jump. Let's see if he was drawn. Offside against Tampa Bay.
Dave Pear, who does a steady job in there, is that nose man, a man who can lift 500 pounds. That's a lot of pounds, Frank.
Oh, you say that again.
Defensive encroachment, middle man, number unreported, second down.
And it was Dave Pear, number 76, who jumped. Ball is moved out to the 25-yard line. It's now second down 8. Farrell again taking the handoff, gets out to the 26-yard line. Bob Farrell came on originally when Wilbur Jackson was injured. Had to beat out Greg Boykin for the job. He's done a pretty creditable job for San Francisco. Richard Wood made the stop, number 54.
Who would have believed that earlier in the season that Paul Hofer and Bobby Farrell would be the starting running backs for San Francisco at this time of the year?
Hofer has been voted, by the way, the 49ers' most valuable player. In addition to starting, he plays in just about all the specialty teams. Really a hustler. Third down, 7. The fake into the middle. Scott Bull rolling. Floats it out, intended for Farrell, and is intercepted but out of bounds. It was Mike Washington when he pulled that one down. Of course, Bull did not start the season at quarterback. They elected to go with a second-year rookie, Steve DeBerg, who was on the club last year but did not see any action, and DeBerg had all kinds of interception problems. We had a flag on that last play, and they finally decided several games ago to give Scott Bull an opportunity. Bull was Jim Plunkett's backup man last year, and you know they let Plunkett go. Let's see what the call will be. Bob Frederick is checking things out. The rest of the officiating crew involves Lou Palazzi, the umpire, the head linesman Sid Seaman, line judge Art Holtz, the back judge Bill Swanson, the side judge Vince Jacob, and the field judge Bob Workman. Here's the call.
Number 57 on the defense was offside. 3rd down.
That's David Lewis, the Buccaneer linebacker. So it is now 3rd down and 2 for San Francisco at its own 31-yard line, as the Buccaneers have given the 49ers a bit of life. Freddie Solomon is wide to the right side, rest of the tee in tight. Farrell getting a call, trying to get outside. Looks like he's got it up for the first down at the 34-yard line.
Listen to those San Francisco players on the sideline. Sounds like they're playing for the divisional championship. Pretty good block by Hofer here as he collided with Washington to knock him off stride. Gets around the horn and dives forward for just enough to get the first down for San Francisco.
As you said, that bench doesn't sound like a 1-13 team at all, does it?
Well, that's football. Every game is a game, and I got a hunch, even though these two teams are out of it, that this, Frank, I'm predicting is going to be a very exciting game before it's over.
One of the 49ers was shaken up on the play. He was knocked out in front of the 49er bench, so there was no timeout necessary. Kenny Harrison, the wide receiver, out to the 40, almost to midfield before he's knocked out of bounds by Kohler, number 77. That's a first down.
You have the wide receiver screen, and he comes in and peels behind the lineman, and you're going to see John Ayers out there, number 68 out in front, and finally he's knocked out of bounds. But that can be a play that can get you 10, 15, 20 yards, but it also will lose you 5 sometimes. Successful for San Francisco this time.
Second first down on this drive. 49ers send their plays in alternating guards. Tampa Bay normally sends theirs in via the tight end route. Short yardage to the 48-yard line as Paul Hofer gets his first carry of the afternoon. He's the guy, of course, that came in when O.J. Simpson received that shoulder injury earlier this year. Cecil Johnson, number 56, making the stop. Hofer also, before the game, was awarded the Len Eschmont Award. That's a very special award they have out here in San Francisco.
As an inspirational player on the team.
Quite a tribute. Second down, 7. 49ers at the Tampa 48-yard line. Scott Bull rolling out. Oh! Got a yard in the play to the 46, and that was Dave Parr, number 76, and Kohler, number 77, were over the cover quickly. Kohler did an excellent job last week filling in for Leroy Selman, who went down. And Selman, of course, is really the heart of that Tampa defense.
You know, I think Scott Bull showed us something there on that rollout. He's a big man, you know, about 6'5", 225 pounds, and he's pretty mobile for a big man, and that's one thing that Fred O'Connor likes about him.
Third down. 49ers need 5 for the first down. Nose of the ball just outside the Tampa 45-yard line. No score here in the first period. Bull completes the pass to Hofer from the 35 and down at the 32-yard line, and San Francisco has a first down. Mark Cockney, number 33, makes the stop, but the 49ers are moving.
He comes out of the backfield. Scott Bull really takes a shot from Dave Parr after he throws the ball, but Hofer ran his pattern, turned, and then went to the inside and made a nice gain out of it. Paul Hofer, and you're seeing one of the reasons he's named their most inspirational and most valuable player, and he hasn't played all that much. He did so well on the special teams for a couple of years for San Francisco.
Scott Bull, former Arkansas star, led that team to the Cotton Bowl championship in his collegiate days. I should be seeing the Cotton Bowl once again New Year's Day on CBS. Here's Bull again with the hit straight out to Kenny Harrison. Harrison to the 30 and run out of bounds at the 27. Pick up a 5 on the play. Harrison, former SMU receiver who was cut earlier this season by the 49ers and then brought back on the roster. Richard Wood, number 54, made the stop, and there's John McKay.
Man who signed a 5-year contract. He's now in the 3rd year, and he said he wasn't going to coach after the 5 years, but there's been some indications the last couple of years that maybe he'll change his mind. He sees things down the line that look good to him as a penalty against San Francisco. It may have been against 68 Ayers. I'll take a guess.
Personal foul, Clip, number 68, on the run after the completed pass.
Yes.
Your eyesight is working well today, I must say.
Well, Harrison waited for him to come out, and he came out and threw a little clip as Harrison was waiting for the block.
That'll move it back to the 42-yard line. First down and 20. for the San Francisco 49ers in Tampa territory. 7:34 left in the opening period. Bull having trouble finding a receiver. Dropped at the 37, pickup of 5. It'll be second down, 15. David Lewis, 57, and Dave Pear, 76 on the stop. New England got a field goal from Posey, who had all kinds of problems against Dallas last week, with 8 seconds left to play to beat Buffalo, and that clinches the AFC East for New England. And another final score. This one went into overtime.
Yes, it was. I think Cleveland was ahead by about 20 points, and then it went to overtime, and Cleveland wins by 3 over the Jets.
Yeah, Cleveland was up 27-10 at one point, and the Jets caught him at the wire. Jack Steptoe is coming to the lineup for San Francisco. Pretty tough defense shown by the Buccaneers as the 49ers try to penetrate the middle, and Hofer gets virtually nothing. Dewey Selman, number 61, making the stop at the 37-yard line for no gain. It'll be third down, 15. Hey, Bull has had just about as much problems as DeBerg has had. He's been sacked 16 times.
You mentioned Dewey Selman. He's been in on 141 tackles this year.
Third and 15. Steptoe wide to the right side. Bull flushed out of the pocket. Lets it go. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Paul Seals, down at the 25-yard line. He was wrapped up pretty good. David Lewis was there. So was Richard Wood.
Okay, let's take a look at Scott Bull, the big man, as he goes back into the pocket and then decides to do a partial rollout, and he hit the pass on the nose. He didn't cross the line of scrimmage, although it was very close, and just good aggressive defense forced the ball out.
Fourth down, Mike Connell is the 49ers punter. This is only the second meeting ever between these two ball clubs. San Francisco won it 20-10 last year. There's the book on Connell of the season so far. Danny Reese watches it sail over his head and into the end zone on the fly. So the Buccaneers will take over at the 20-yard line with 5 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the first period here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California. Each team has had the football once. Buccaneers in their second offensive possession will get it at their 20-yard line with a 1st and 10. No score in the ball game. Fred O'Connor, the second head coach that the 49ers have had this year. He succeeded Pete McCulley. And O'Connor's still looking for his first victory as a head coach in the NFL. Mike Ray calling the signals. Larry Mucker in motion, and Ray Moore is open. Ray is out to the 20, out to the 25-yard line. Now, Mucker had one-on-one coverage from Eddie Lewis back there and looked like he was open, but Ray didn't see him. Ed Bradley, number 54. On the tackle, they pick up 5. It'll be second down, 5. San Diego has a field goal on Seattle in the first period. Houston has a touchdown on the Saints, also in the first period. Earl Campbell, by the way, scored that touchdown. Washington, Atlanta, that's a big game because one of those teams will probably be eliminated from wild card consideration. They've got 6 minutes and 58 seconds left in that game. The score is tied at 17. Lewis Carter breaking a couple tackles. Lewis is out to the 35. And he has a first down.
Good play by the pulling guard, number 64, Greg Horton, as he comes in, throws his block, and Carter comes in between it. Pett's got a good block, and then Carter took advantage of it and shows that why he's playing. Of course, they got a lot of backs out. Somebody's got to play, but Lewis Carter's done okay.
Carter played his college football at Maryland. Buck veteran, 1st and 10. Tampa Bay at its 35-yard line. Again, the handle. Carter, for a moment, he couldn't find the handle. By the time he did, he was surrounded by red shirts and dropped after a pickup of just a yard. Carter had a big day receiving last week against Green Bay, caught 6. Denver leads Kansas City. That's a first period score. The Broncos looked impressive last week against Oakland. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in the opening period. Nice hole for Carter, and he jets out to the 42-yard line. Going to be about a yard, maybe two shy of the first down as Joe Harris, number 50, makes the stop.
They're playing a little game with Joe Harris here. As they had Harris to the outside, he had to come back and react, number 50 there to make the tackle. I think that may have been an audible, a checkoff by Mike Ray. Most of the plays are sent in from the sidelines, and I think Ray audibled that one off.
Third down, let's call it 2 for the first down. Bucs have the ball at their 42-yard line. Mike Ray gets it away, incomplete. Intended for Owens. Coming across at the 35-yard line, and the Buccaneers will have to punt. Eddie Lewis was back there on pass coverage.
He basically threw that one away. He wanted to go to Frank Grant, but Grant was double covered, and there was nobody open. That's been one of the problems for Tampa Bay the past 2 or 3 weeks. Ray has had some fairly reasonable pass blocking, but he can't seem to find receivers open down the field.
Here's Grain, who punted last time for only 23 yards. Jack Steptoe, number 87 at the 20. Steptoe to the 30, 35, 40. Knocked out of bounds near midfield.
Jack Steptoe, who was with the Chicago Bears and dropped by the Bears earlier in the season and then just kind of didn't do anything for a while. San Francisco needed a wide receiver, and they picked up Steptoe as the game is still scoreless.
35 on the punt and 25 on the return by Jack Steptoe. And the 49ers will have a first down at their 46-yard line as they head back to play. Say, you look at the statistics, you don't think either team is going to score here.
They rank next to the last in total offense.
San Francisco is 13th offensively, and Tampa Bay is 14th offensively in the NFC. Scott Bull, that half rollout, and Dave Pear gets there and sacks him back at the 35. 11-yard loss. Look at Pear. He's happy.
Yes, it was an option pass, and Bull had the choice of running or passing. Couldn't find anybody open. There's a lot of red jerseys to block, but somebody gets through as Dave Pear gets by Quillen and then makes the tackle, and then, of course, he gets up with the fist raised because Dave Pear, he loves this game, and he wants everybody to know when he makes a good play. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at that face mask, huh? Piece of iron there on the front of his face.
The officials mark it at the 39. So it's a loss of 8 on the play. Second down, 18. Blitz. And again, it was Pear who was over there quickly, along with number 33 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mark Cotney.
I think Pear may have been offside that time. He was so stoked up after his play, the previous play, that he got over the ball just a little bit too soon, and it's an offsides. He gets so excited in a game that in practice he has to go back and change jersey. He sweats so much.
This will be the third offside that has been leveled against the Tampa Bay defense so far here in the first quarter.
Defense, offside, number unreported, second down.
Unreported?
How can you miss a guy that big, huh? Unreported, my foot.
Yeah. John McKay wants to know about that. Unreported.
Second and 13. 49ers at their 44-yard line. Scott Bull swings it out to Hofer. Gets away from Wood, and Hofer is out to near midfield. Oh, he went soaring for the last 5 yards of that one.
Just a swing pass out to Hofer, and he does a good job of getting by Wood, who leads the team in tackles. He comes up, and there's the little deke. He gets away from him, and then follows his man, Ernie Hughes, to get a few more yards. Good block by Ernie Hughes right here. And finally, Hofer goes down, but not without a great effort. He is really a slashing type of runner. He's not the greatest speedball, but he'll get you those yards when you need them.
Ball is in Tampa Bay's end of the field now at the 49-yard line. Third down and 5 for San Francisco. A minute 40 left in the opening period. Scott Bull over the middle. That will be good for the first down. Hofer to the 42-yard line. And quite a collision, as you will see again.
Yes, you're going to see Hofer get clobbered by Dewey Selman, who's also been injured for part of this season, too. He just waits for Hofer to clear out of the backfield underneath, and then here comes the hit by Selman. Boy, that was a collision.
First down, San Francisco at the Tampa Bay 42-yard line. 49ers with a 9-game losing streak. There's Dewey Selman from Eufaula, Oklahoma.
The second player ever drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Scott Bull throws a rainbow out for Harrison, and Harrison can't catch up to it. Pursued into the end zone by Mike Washington, number 40. It's got to be a little tough. He's looking back into the sun.
Yes, this is a bad sun field, especially at this time of the day, at this time of the year. But he threw that ball a long way.
Bill Kohler with the good pass rush that time on Scott Bull.
There's a look at the sun angle, and not too many fans here, about 40,000, I would guess. They have not had any sellouts in San Francisco. They've had a lot in Tampa this year. In fact, they average, I think, 64,000 per game. That's pretty good.
I think they're like second in the league. They've done a super job turning out for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers have given them something to cheer about this year. 2nd and 10 from the Tampa Bay 42. Bucs making the blitz. Fake into the middle. First down, San Francisco. Mike Washington making the tackle.
Let's take a look. Just a quick down and in, a quick post. Boy, has a good angle. Great replay. And there's nothing the defensive back can do about a situation like that. If the wide receiver gets inside position on the post, he doesn't usually have to worry about the cornerback. What he has to worry about is a linebacker coming from the other side to hit him right in the chops when he catches the ball, but no linebacker in sight on that play.
1st and 10, 49ers at the Tampa Bay 30-yard line. Hofer in motion. Bull hands it to Farrell, and Farrell finds an opening over the left side. Carries to the 25, pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd down, 5. Cecil Johnson, number 56, in the stop. That will do it as far as the first quarter is concerned. The gun sounds, and that is the end of the first period of play. No score. San Francisco nothing. Tampa Bay nothing. That'll be the Sun Bowl upcoming, couple of days before Christmas. Matching the University of Maryland and the University of Texas, the two runner-up teams. Maryland out of the Atlantic coast, Texas out of the Southwest. And the Peach Bowl on Christmas Day. Purdue takes on Georgia Tech, Big Ten, against the Independent. And, of course, it'll be climaxed by the Cotton Bowl. Matchup between Notre Dame and the University of Houston, New Year's Day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Had a penalty on the last play of the first quarter, illegal procedure against the 49ers, so they move it back to the 35, and it's now 1st and 15, San Francisco. Here's a blitz, and they beat it. Hofer takes the handoff and carries down to the 26-yard line. Cotney, number 33, came firing through.
Watch the collision between Farrell and Cotney, who was red dogging. 33 and 38. Terrific collision, but that's what opened the hole, as it was a natural hole created. And finally, Hofer gets through for some big yards. But they had the safety blitz on that time, and Cotney really came through.
They picked up 10 yards on the play, but of course they had the penalty prior to that, so it is now 2nd down, 5. Nose of the ball just outside the Tampa Bay 26. Pitch to Hofer. Looks like he was stopped for no gain right at the line of scrimmage. David Lewis, number 57, who's had an excellent year for Tampa Bay, making the stop.
Good play by David Lewis. He played off the block by number 85. Paul Seal, who was playing, of course, for McAfee, is out with a banged-up knee. I don't think they operated on his knee. I think it's in a cast, which means he won't play for the rest of the season.
3rd down, still 5 needed for the first down. San Francisco at the 26-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Scott Bull, little swing. Oh, nice catch by Hofer. And he's got the first down, loses the ball. It apparently was fumbled out of bounds before Tampa Bay was able to get possession. It'll be a first down, San Francisco.
Tampa Bay brought their linebackers in tight So Bull just threw out the swing pass very quickly to Hofer, and watch this one-handed snag. He's got a lot of stickum. Just put that hand out, bring that ball in. Look at that. What a beauty. And then he puts on a nice move. And finally, Dewey Selman's going to chase him down, and he'll fumble the ball. But it goes out of bounds before anybody can recover. Nice play by Paul Hofer, and you're finding out why he has been voted their most valuable and most inspirational player this year.
First down at the 13-yard line for the San Francisco 49ers. Jack Steptoe is wide to the left side. Kenny Harrison is split to the right. It is Hofer on the pitch to the 11 for a pickup of 2 yards. Bill Kohler, number 77, making the stop. Kohler, one-time #1 draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals. Did you used to wear that sticker when you play with the Bears?
No, I never did wear a sticker.
Oh, come on, John. You can tell now. It's been 10 years, hasn't it?
It's not illegal. There goes Paul Hofer off the field. I'll tell you what we did do. We had a Rudy Bukic who used to throw a very hard ball, and you know you have some variance on a football. I'll tell you that story in a moment.
Dave Williams, number 30, comes into the backfield, replacing Hofer. 2nd and 9. Break to Williams and Bull on the rollout. Will not get much. 1 yard to the 10-yard line. Dave Pear making the stop.
Charlie Hanna is hurt. He might have hurt his wrist or something. Bull shakes away from Charlie Hanna's tackle, number 73, right here, and Hanna gets hurt on this play. Nice running for a quarterback, huh? And there comes Dave Pear to clean up on the tackle. But Charlie Hanna is hurt. I don't know how seriously.
Bull, as you said, is a big guy, 6'5", 211. It is 3rd year out of Arkansas. Oh, I tell you, the ex-bartender did it again. Tim Mazzetti kicked a field goal as the clock ran out. And Atlanta has beaten Washington 20-17. That keeps Atlanta alive as far as the wild card goes. And Washington, I think it's going to be wait till next year for the Redskins and their fans. Seattle leading San Diego in the first period, 7-3. That's some offense Seattle has got. 3rd down, 7 for the 49ers. At the 10-yard line of the Buccaneers. No score early in the 2nd period. Kenny Harrison to the left side. Jack Steptoe to the right. Scott Bull delivers. Incomplete. Steptoe wanted the interference call, but the flag was not forthcoming. We'll take another look at it and see if that call was warranted.
Steptoe was banged when he came off the line of scrimmage. But then he continued on his pattern. I think White hit him just as the ball got there. At least he pretended he didn't hit him, did he? Good play by Jarris White.
Worthing with the field goal try here. The spot will be at the 18, so a 28-yard effort with Scott Bull to hold. Perfect. So San Francisco scores with 12 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Here at Candlestick Park, it's the 49ers 3, Tampa Bay nothing. 49ers lead it 3-0 as Wersing prepares to kick off. 43 yards in the drive, 15 plays, and it consumed almost 6 minutes. Danny Reese is deep. This one coming down a little bit short, taken by Lewis Carter at the 13-yard line, 15-20. And Carter is dropped at the 23. 1st and 10 for the Bucs, who have lost 5 of their last 6 after running into the big injury problems. As Bruce Threadgill, number 23, made the stop. What about that story about you and Bukic now?
Well, I was going to say, you know, you have some variance on a football. It's supposed to weigh anywhere from 12.5 to 13.5 pounds of pressure that you can put in it, and weigh from 14 to 15 ounces. And there is a difference. I'll have to finish this story in a moment.
Mike Gray, quarterbacking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll be good for the first down. Over on the far side, it's Frank Grant makes the reception.
And I would always make sure that when Rudy Bukic was at quarterback, because he threw such a hard football, that the ball was inflated to the minimum, because it makes a difference. That 1 ounce, that 1 pound, makes a difference on how heavy the ball was. And I would like to be softer, and that really made a difference.
Really
I did that year in and year out.
Ball is spotted at the 34-yard line. Don McKay alternating his wide receivers. Right now he's using Owens and Mucker, sending in plays from the bench. First and 10, Tampa Bay at their 34-yard line. That was almost like a shot put. Jimmy Giles, the tight end, he almost pushed that thing to him kind of like a jump shot. Basketball.
He had to get that high arc, so he just gave it the old shot put style, and it was complete. Doesn't matter how you throw it, I guess, as long as it's successful. Obradovich has been hurt, who's been sharing the duty with Giles. It's another one of their injuries. Morris Owens is playing, but he has groin and rib injury.
Second and 2 for the Buccaneers at their 42-yard line. Both wide receivers off to the left side. Handoff goes to Carter, trying to pick up the first down. He'll be close at the 44. Dan Bunz, number 57, the middle linebacker, made the stop. As we mentioned, Bunz, one of 3 San Francisco rookies named this week to the all-rookie team. The other 2 are the starting guards, Walt Downing and Ernie Hughes, who are their second and third round draft picks. Bunz was a first, and McAfee, the tight end, was also a first-round pick. First down for the Buccaneers, with the nose of the ball just inside the 45-yard line of Tampa Bay.
And you mentioned Bunz. What a job he's done when you consider a rookie playing middle linebacker. That's got to be the toughest spot there is to learn, and he's done a heck of a job.
Not much there, as the handoff went to Johnny Davis, who just came into the lineup on this series of downs. Joe Harris and Archie Reese making the stop. Davis, another guy, running back, who's been hurt for Tampa, but he's able to see limited duty today.
They lost Ragsdale last week, who had come on and had a real good game, and they've lost to both, and Ricky Bell. You name them, they've lost them.
Second down, 9. Bucs at their 45. 10 minutes left in the first half. San Francisco leading 3-0. Carter lost the ball. Who's got it? Recovered by the 49ers at the 41-yard line of Tampa Bay.
Well, this play never really got started as the remaining back got knocked off the thing, and then the ball just was ripped loose. There it goes right there, and then 3 or 4 49ers had a chance to pick up on it. And I'm going to see if Bradley may have got it, number 54. No, yes, who's got it? It's hard to say.
Take a look at the end of that fumble recovery, see if we can figure out who got it.
Well, Danny Bunz almost had it, and there's 58, Nichols. It appears maybe that Mark Nichols recovered, but anyway, San Francisco has the ball in Tampa Bay territory.
Well, they're going to officially give it to Joe Harris, so he'll get credit for it in the papers tomorrow. More of a team recovery than anything else. Scott Bull faking the end around, and Bull dumps a little safety valve out to Farrell, who carries to the 33-yard line. Bobby Farrell. That's pretty fancy, wasn't it?
Yes, a little razzle-dazzle. The fake of the handoff and the fake of the end around. Wasn't much of a fake, but then there comes a little pass out to Farrell.
You think he was a safety valve there and they wanted to go downfield to somebody else? Or you think it was
No, I think that was a planned play that way, but I think they'll use the end around before the game is over with Freddie Solomon or maybe with Harrison.
Pickup of 8 yards in the play. It is second down 2 for San Francisco at the Tampa Bay 33-yard line. Hofer, nothing. I mean, Tampa Bay really closed up the middle that time. Excellent job defensively by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Richard Wood, number 54, leading the defensive charge.
With that fumble that gave San Francisco the ball, it's an ironic statistic. They have had 45 fumbles by their opponents, and San Francisco has recovered 24 of them. On the other side, San Francisco has the most fumbles themselves, 40 fumbles, and has lost 21.
Third down, 49ers need 2 for the first down. At the 33 of Tampa Bay as they try to take advantage of this turnover. Farrell lost the ball. And again, it was fumbled out of bounds, so the 49ers will retain possession. But there was a loss of a couple of yards. Watch this.
David Lewis, number 57, he was the man there. He got away from Seal and made the hit, strips the ball loose, but it goes out of bounds before anybody can recover it. Get that ball? Not quite. You have to recover. You can't just touch.
Well, he got Worthing in there. This is going to be a moonshot type field goal. I don't know if this is within his range. Worthing's longest this year has been 45 yards.
It's going to be from the twilight zone. All the way from Tampa Bay to see the Bucs play today, and there's nobody sitting in the seats.
All right. Well, 49ers call time. I think they're going to think about it. This would have to be a 52-yard field goal attempt. I think. Or something in the vicinity of 50 yards, nevertheless. Timeout here at Candlestick. Fred O'Connor has had a change of heart and has sent the punting unit on. That would have been a 54-yard field goal attempt had Worthing been allowed to try it.
Let's see what Connell does. The last time he punted in this situation, he punted right down the middle into the end zone rather than going for the corner. Let's see if he uses a few more smarts on this next one.
4th and 7 at the 37-yard line of the Buccaneers. Reese is back standing about the 10, but he looks like he's not quite sure that they're really going to punt it or not. Bounces into the end zone. Dave Williams, number 30, was down there ahead of the ball. Had that thing taken a low hop. He might have been able to save it inside the 5-yard line. Frank Lieber with Johnny Morris, Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 8:17 left in the first half. San Francisco leading Tampa Bay 3-0 as Mike Ray leads the Bucs up to the line of scrimmage. They're moving from their 20-yard line.
Here you go, here you go.
Nice fake by Ray. He's got a man open in front of the Tampa Bay bench as he completes the pass to Frank Grant. Rick Odom was back there defending. Look at this score, huh?
The Monsters of the Midway once again. Chicago 14-0 over Green Bay. Walter Payton scored a touchdown on James Scott for Chicago. That kind of hurts Green Bay a little bit. They could have won and taken a one-game lead over Minnesota. As you know, the Vikings got clobbered by Detroit yesterday.
Or does that help the Vikings? All they got to do now is beat Oakland next week, and they'll win that division. 1st and 10 after the 20-yard gain on the reception. Lewis Carter to the 43, maybe the 44-yard line before being wrapped up by Joe Harris, number 50. Tampa Bay has been a very slow starting team. As a matter of fact, they have scored just 13 points in the first quarter of their last 11 games, counting this one. Second down. Bucs need 6 for the first down at their 44-yard line. Making the blitz. Ray's done a pretty good job getting rid of the ball, though. He hasn't been close to being sacked, really.
Well, he came close that time as Nichols came from the outside, and it really forced a bad pass because Mike Ray could feel him coming right here, 58, and then he takes his punishment, and, of course, he overthrew Giles. But the pressure from the pass rush was the key there for San Francisco as they put a blitz on.
Giles, coming into this game, needed 8 receptions in these last 2 games to break the Tampa Bay record for receptions by tight end in a season. That's 26. 3rd down, 6. Blitz this time. Archie Reese, number 78. Fine-looking rookie for the 49ers, was the first to get there.
You can see Danny Bunz and Joe Harris both came. Reese came to the outside as they got messed up on their pass blocking, and there was no chance for Mike Ray because everybody was there, mainly Archie Reese.
That's the first sack on Ray this afternoon and the 32nd against him this season. Green comes in to do the punting. Fly back, line drive kick, Steptoe will return it. 30, 35. Steptoe to the 40. Loses the football. And Tampa Bay recovers at the 48-yard line of San Francisco. Paul Harris, number 52, gets the recovery on the fumble after a fine return by Steptoe.
It was a line drive shot, which gives him a good chance for a return. He makes a nifty move here to the inside when truly actually on the way to breaking a long punt return. Somebody comes flying through right here to knock the ball loose.
That's Harris.
My gosh, it was the man who recovered the ball. Harris, number 52, knocked it loose. And there was the mistake right there, trying to pick it up rather than fall on it. Number 49, Vern Robertson. And then Harris comes back to recover for Tampa Bay.
First and 10. Bucs at the San Francisco 48-yard line. Pitch to Lewis Carter. We got flags all over the place. Carter is pinned at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Frank Grant was running in motion, had not stopped in time before the snap of the ball. You're supposed to stop a full second unless you are actually going in motion, but he went down and set, and I think that's going to be the call.
Illegal motion is the preliminary indication indeed from Bob Frederick, the referee. See what the 49ers elect to do with that. There was no gain to speak of on the play.
Well, they could have a 2nd and 10 or a 1st and 15. That's the situation that San Francisco has to decide on.
They'll take the penalty to move it back in Tampa Bay's end of the field to the 47-yard line.
Illegal motion, offense number 83, first down.
83 is the former Washington Redskin, Frank Grant. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left to play in the first half. Tampa Bay trailing 3-0. Grant wide to the left side. Owens is flanked to the right. Again, a blitz on Ray. Down at the 38-yard line. Ed Bradley, number 54, was blitzing from the right side.
Let's keep our eyes on Ed Bradley. As he started to go back in his zone, and he comes inside Cedric Hardman, number 54, as Ray goes back to pass, and there's no way that the remaining back can get him. Actually tries to hold him, and finally Ray goes down for the sack. Charlie White did the best he could. He tried to reach in there and grab him. When in doubt, try and do something. But there is Ed Bradley, outside linebacker.
Ed has been around a while. Been with the Steelers, some of their Super Bowl teams. Let's listen to Mike Ray call the signals here on 2nd and 23. Carter at the 45 up to the 50-yard line. Chuck Chris, number 24, in the stop.
This time San Francisco had a straight 4-man rush. They split the rush and made a big hole for Lewis Carter. He got through it and is finally brought down. Eddie Lewis, number 22, was in on the tackle. So we find a 3rd down and 2 situation.
3rd and 12. Remember the penalty.
Oh, 3rd and 12.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Sack, I'm sorry.
3rd and 12. Eddie Lewis, number 22, runs a 9.600 and 21.3 Not bad.
Nose of the ball is just in Tampa Bay's end of the field. Mike Ray, good protection this time, and finally hits Owens at the 40-yard line. That will not be enough for the first down. They needed to net the 37 to pick up the first down.
I'll say one thing. Ray got a lot of pass protection that time. He must have had 5 counts and finally hits Owens, who was short of the first down. So there's going to be turnover of the football.
That was Ray's 8th pass attempt and his 5th completion as David Green comes in to do the punting.
Speaking of Morris Owens, he only needs 2 more to set a new record for Tampa Bay pass receivers. I think he had 36 going in. 34, has 35 now, needs a couple.
Jack Steptoe is deep. Angling for the near sideline, bouncing at the 5. And a good try by Curtis Jordan, number 25, to get to it before it got to the end zone. He was unsuccessful. So the 49ers will take over at the 20-yard line when we resume play in just a moment. 49ers with a 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. As we head back to play, they lead in the football game 3-0 with 4 minutes, 36 seconds left to play in the first half. Freddie Solomon in motion as Scott Bull looks downfield, trying to hit the big tight end Paul Seals. Defended against by Cotney, number 33. I guess at this point you'd have to say the two teams are living up to their offensive statistics thus far in the season.
Well, we could say it's just great defense by both teams.
Well, that's right.
Let's say it that way. What the heck. Good play by Mark Cotney that time. He had to take on Seal, who was a lot bigger than he is, and he jammed him and then ran with him, and it was an incompletion.
Bull is 7 out of 12 for 75 yards. Over 36. Barrel number 38 is back at Scott Bull. Second man is over. Finally dragged out of bounds at the 25-yard line, but he fights for every inch. Mike Washington, number 40, made the stop.
And even though this wasn't a big gain, you can see what a good runner that Hofer is. As he's forced to the outside, makes a couple of nice dips here, and he ran about 50 yards to gain 2 or 3, but that was a nice move there as he avoided the tackle. And finally, he's got Dewey Selman chasing him, number 61. And there's Washington, number 40, and Selman rolling him out of bounds rather rudely,
to say the least. Third down 5. San Francisco at its 25-yard line. Going long for Freddie Solomon. Intercepted by Cotney at the 30, 35. Mark Cotney back to midfield to the 45. And finally upended at the 37-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers.
This time Solomon had Cotney, who was a safety man-for-man downfield deep, but Scott Bull threw it more to the outside as Solomon had dipped more to the post pattern, so they had gotten a mix-up on their reception, and Cotney made the interception and goes back. But these are the kind of things that will happen to a young team, and Tampa Bay has a chance to get on the board before halftime.
1st and 10 for the Buccaneers at the 37-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Ray picking up a first down at the 23-yard line as he spears Frank Grant, cutting over the middle, and Grant took the punishment. That hurt.
Yes, it does. That's the only danger for a wide receiver coming in that quick post. They've been dragging the back out in the swing area, taking Bradley out into the flat so that there is no obstruction for the pass. Now you can see the back here, the left back coming out. Bradley will go out with him, number 54. That clears the zone there, and Grant comes across, makes the reception. Eddie Lewis is in on the tackle, and down goes Grant.
So Grant being tended to. I want to remind you about the CBS Sports Spectacular next weekend. A trio of interesting events. Super skates paved at Madison Square Garden. Some of the top ice skaters in the world will be on hand. Jojo Starbuck and Ken Shelley and Toller Cranston of Canada and Robin Cousins of Great Britain. The Swamp Buggy Championships from Naples, Florida.
What is that? Swamp?
I have, a swamp buggy. Having never lived in a swamp, I don't know, but I would imagine if you live in a swamp area, you ride a swamp buggy. And, of course, the World's Strongest Men features a refrigerator race. 1st and 10 Buccaneers at the 23-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Hand off to Johnny Davis, and Davis gets it inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line before he's stacked up by Dan Bunge, number 57, the middle linebacker.
These San Francisco fans have to be a little bit frustrated. This team has won only 2 of the last 19 games. And that makes it tough on everybody.
Second down, 6 yards needed for the first down. Buccaneers at the 18 of San Francisco, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the first half. Tampa Bay trailing 3-0. Ray pumps it once, sends it out to the sidelines to Carter, but he caught it out of bounds. That'll go as an incompleted forward pass. Joe Harris is over there covering.
That was a beauty one-hand snag. It's too bad it was for no avail as far as Tampa was concerned, but that's our second one-handed catch like that. That ball must be 11.5 ounces instead of 12.
It must be. Buccaneers have scored 1 touchdown in their last 2 games, so they're trying to get that offense on track, which has been a perennial problem since they've been in existence. 3rd down. Still need 6 for the first down at the 18-yard line. Ray, under pressure, lets it go over the head of the intended receiver, Morris Owens, down to the 5-yard line. That'll mean the field goal unit. And it will also mean Dave Green, who is filling in for Neil O'Donoghue, the regular field goal kicker, who was injured last week and did not make the trip. So Green, of course, did a lot of place kicking for Tampa Bay in their first 2 years. He was the place kicker and the punter the first year of existence, so he's no stranger to it.
The man who is frustrated right now is Mike Ray. He slapped himself right in the head after he threw that pass a little bit off the mark, and he's talking to himself right now.
This will be a 35-yard effort by Dave Green as he attempts to tie it up. It is low. It is good. It just got over the crossbar. That thing couldn't have cleared the crossbar by more than 3 feet.
Well, the crossbar is 10 feet high, and it's 18 feet 6 inches across, and he just got in there with an inch to spare.
Upcoming tonight on CBS, of course, 60 Minutes, the show that everybody watches. Leads off the evening lineup, followed by All of the Family, then Alice, and a special thing for you tonight, the 3rd annual Circus of the Stars. I'm sure you watched that in the past. Features some of the biggest names in show business as ringmasters. Tonight that will include Lauren Bacall, Sammy Davis Jr., Jerry Lewis, Anthony Newley, and Bernadette Peters. So a big night of television viewing on CBS this evening. Score tied at 3. 2 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the first half. Tampa Bay, San Francisco, cool, sunshiny day here in the Bay Area.
I understand O.J. Simpson is resting comfortably. They operated on his knee earlier this week, didn't they?
Yeah, just a little cleanup job. Same knee hurt last year with Buffalo. They took some scar tissue out and a cyst.
Says his shoulder is going to be okay, and he wants to come back play football next year.
Well, he's got to be disappointed. This just hadn't been his year. Hofer is the deep man, but the kick is very, very short by Green. Well, leave it to a lineman to bobble it. Hofer wound up with the football anyway, and he is dropped at the 20-yard line. Number 62 for the San Francisco 49ers is Walt Downing, who made the all-rookie team this year, not for his kickoff catching ability, but rather as an offensive guard.
They should have signaled for a fair catch.
Yes.
Which you can do on a kickoff.
I've never seen it done. Have you?
Yes, I've seen it done. One time I saw a fair catch on a very short height. The kicker got the ball underneath the ball. I think it was Paul Hornung when he was playing. And the Bears fair caught.
Farrell is out to the 24-yard line. Richard Wood, number 54, at the stop.
I'll tell you another one, Frank. Did you know that you could run down the field and drop kick a field goal during play? That is legal in the National Football League.
Drop kick it.
You can still drop kick it. You got to have pretty good presence of mind, but you can do it.
Well, you have to have pretty good presence of mind to signal for a fair catch and a kickoff, too, I would think. 2nd down, 6. 49ers at their 25. This will take it down to 2-minute warning. Scott Burr is sacked at the 17-yard line. There goes Pear. Go get him, David. David Pear gets his 2nd sack of the afternoon. 2-minute warning. Officially 1:59 to go in the first half. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back once again to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. There's Doug Williams on the sideline. Look at that contraption he's got on his face. Well, you got a busted jaw. You got to protect it some way, right?
Well, the biggest reason that he's not playing is not so much the jaw anymore, is that he can't bark out the signals. He can't enunciate very clearly because he has to keep his teeth and mouth closed, and it makes it kind of a difficult situation. But he could play today, they say, if called upon.
He could hold up one hand, use fingers, right?
That's right.
A snap count.
Or he could make different signals like grunts.
Third down. 49ers need 15 for the first down. 1:59 left in the first half. They have the ball at their own 15. Scott Bull. Intended for Farrell. Somebody obviously got a piece of it.
Charlie Hanna, nice job. He reached over Keith Fanhorst and just batted the ball away.
Charlie Hanna of the Alabama football playing Hannas. Connell will come in to do the punting, and he'll be punting from about the goal line, so the Bucs ought to wind up with pretty decent field position here and a lot of time left as they try to take the lead. Danny Reese is deep, standing on his own 45. Bucs doing a lot of stunning as they have 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. Kick really hangs it up there high. Reese at his own 41, 45, 50, and to the 49 of San Francisco.
Bruce Threadgill on the tackle for San Francisco.
First and 10 now for the Bucs as they try to take the lead before intermission. You see the time remaining. Coming up next weekend on CBS, got a special Saturday game for you. The Bears and the Washington Redskins. I guess with the Redskins losing today, that takes some of the luster off that game.
Means absolutely nothing.
Mike Ray out to Carter, and one-hands it, but lost yardage on the play, got to the 50, and that was it. So it was a loss of 1 on the play. Clock continues to move. Bucs have got the timeouts remaining. Jimmy Webb made the stop.
That's Carter's second one-handed snag. He's got to have stick-em-on.
Or the 11-ounce ball.
Jimmy Webb has been a steady defensive lineman for San Francisco this year. He and Gallagher have done a good job.
Once again, Mike Ray punts it once. Long throw intended this time for Larry Mucker, number 87. Back defending was Ricky Odom. Odom, number 42, was picked up just several weeks ago. Signed as a free agent after playing about half the season with Kansas City and then cut. And the 49ers, in turn, cut Anthony Leonard, who you may have seen yesterday with the Lions. He's now with Detroit. 3rd and 11.
Odom had a good game last week. He was in on a lot of tackles, made some key plays.
Bucs at their own 49-yard line. Ray is 7 out of 13 for 75 yards. Once again under pressure. And Ray is sacked back at the 40-yard line. Good pressure by the San Francisco defense. Jimmy Webb, 74, and Reese, 78.
Cedric Hardman was the man who caused this sack. You're going to see a great effort by Hardman as he goes over the blockers and then throws at Mike Ray and forces him out of the pocket, and then everybody else comes in to clean up on the situation. You see Archie Reese there, and you can see Jimmy Webb. Good play by the defensive line of San Francisco.
Green in to do the punting. Steptoe looking up into the sunshine. Backpedaling inside the 15. Feels it at the 12. 15. Down at the 29-yard line. With 31 seconds left to play in the half. It was Aaron Brown, number 55, who made the stop.
And that was a very important stop because there was a hole there. If he had gotten by Aaron Brown, it could have been Katie bar the door.
49ers have just 1 touchdown passing in their last 7 games coming into today, with a total of 13 interceptions over that same period. Normally you try to keep the touchdown ahead of the interceptions, but they have reversed it in a big way.
Greg Boykin coming in for San Francisco, number 33 out of Northwestern, who was a starter earlier this year, but now has been beaten out by Bobby Farrell. Bo's going to put it up. To Boykin.
Dropped at the 35-yard line.
Pretty nifty play by Scott Bull, who called timeout right after the play, but he was on his way down, and he spotted Boykin, and Charlie Hanna made the tackle, but good heads-up play by Scott Bull. Can't find a receiver, a lot of pressure, starts to tuck under. He sees the hit coming by Hanna and then throws while he's in midair, and there's Boykin for the reception. Mark Cotney on the tackle. Get him, Mark. Down he goes. Made sure of the tackle.
Short of the first down. Ball is at the 36-yard line to the 49ers. They'll have a second down and a long two needed for the first down as Bull confers with Freddie O'Connor.
Fred O'Connor handled the Bear offense with the backs under Jack Pardee. And then when Jack Pardee went to Washington, Fred O'Connor came out here to San Francisco. And, of course, Pete McCauley was let go not too many weeks ago, and Fred O'Connor got the job. And these last two games, I think, are very important to him. He'd like to be the head coach next year for San Francisco. I think if they pulled off a couple of victories, he might have a shot at it. Here is John McKay, who you know is going to be coach next year for Tampa Bay.
Scott Bull, 8 out of 15 for 79 yards. He's had one picked off. Hofer, 35-40. Hofer is out to the 44-yard line. Again, the 49ers will call time to conserve the 11 seconds, which now remain in the first half, and that means that Bull will come over and have another conference. Tomorrow night on CBS, Coach Reeves is tapped to become a network sportscaster on the White Shadow. It's the opportunity of a lifetime for the White Shadow. I don't know, would you categorize that?
That could be up for debate.
All right. Anyway, Ken Howard stars in this great new series. It's on at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time, and then, of course, it's followed by a lot of fun on MASH, One Day at a Time, and then Tense Drama on Lou Grant. 4 great shows, all coming your way tomorrow night on CBS. 11 seconds remaining in the first half of a tie game. Tampa 3, San Francisco 3. 49ers with the ball at their own 44-yard line. They have a first down.
Let's see what kind of call they come with, because with 11 seconds, I'm sure they want to get a field goal try. The type of a pattern that you would want to get down is something where you catch it and get out of bounds, because the screen type of pass and everything would take too long for them to call a timeout.
They have one timeout left. Scott Bull being pursued to the sideline, being sacked by Charlie Hanna, number 73. Timeout is called, so that'll be the 49ers' last timeout with 5 seconds to go in the first half. Second down, they're going to need 20 now for the first down, back at their own 33.
Charlie Hanna's having himself quite a game. You know, there are 2 backup defensive linemen, Randy Crowder and Wally Chambers, both have the flu. They've been sick all week, so they're probably not going to play much today.
Well, the clock ran down, the final 5. Boy, look who showed up.
He's early.
He is a little early.
I thought he was on reindeers usually.
San Francisco, he rides a camel. I mean, who knows? Anyway, you can get around. Tampa Bay will be kicking off to start the second half. Dave Green ready to do the honors. Filling in for the injured Neil O'Donoghue, and just as he's ready to go, the officials say, hold everything. Make sure we get Santa Claus and everybody else taken care of and off the field, and we'll start it going. There he is.
Paul Hofer is deep for San Francisco.
And he is flanked by Dave Williams, number 30, and Greg Boykin, number 33. Last time you recall, Green couldn't get it very far and doesn't get it very far this time. Williams watches it bounce out of bounds for the automatic penalty, which means that Green will have to do it from the 30-yard line. Of course, you know, the problems he's had here filling in as a place kicker. 49ers should come up with pretty good field position. Here's some statistics for you. That's the scoring as it were this afternoon. 28-yard field goal by Worsing of San Francisco, matched by a 35-yarder by Dave Green. 3-3.
They had a big Frisbee display going on here at halftime, and it was amazing how far they can throw a Frisbee from down on the field, almost up here to the press box.
They were sailing them into the stands for souvenirs, and people were going nuts for these 49-cent Frisbees. They'll ruin a $200 suit. Here's another short kickoff. Hofer hands off to Williams on the reverse. He's at the 30-yard line, and Dave Williams is stopped at the 31. That didn't exactly catch Tampa Bay napping. Charlie White, number 28, makes the stop.
We have to feel a little bit sorry for Mr. Green because he doesn't normally kick off. He hasn't been, and of course he's been pressed into duty to have to do it, and he's not been able to get too much foot on the ball.
1st and 10 for the 49ers, who will start with the same backfield that opened the ball game. Scott Bull at quarterback. Hofer and Farrell the setback. Step toe wide to the right side. Give us to Farrell. Farrell gets it out to the 33-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd down 8. Charlie Hanna, number 73, in the stop. Bull 9 out of 15 for 82 yards unofficially in the first half of play. Rushing, Farrell has carried 6 times and has a total of 8 yards rushing. Hofer, the leading rusher, 8 carries for 26 yards for San Francisco. Hofer tried to get outside, and Richard Wood, number 54, wouldn't let him. One of the better acquisitions that the Buccaneers have made, this man. Played with the New York Jets for a couple of years before coming to Tampa, and he's found himself a home. Fine football player.
They have such speed at their linebacker positions. That's why and they have so many good linebackers, they go with that 3-4 quite a bit. San Francisco uses it some, but they use a lot more 4-man fronts than Tampa Bay.
Loss of a yard on the previous play means it's 3rd down and 9. San Francisco 49ers at their own 30. They give it to Hofer, and Hofer is upended at the 34-yard line. David Lewis, number 57, on the stop for the Tampa Bay Bucs. On comes Mike Connell to do the punting. Connell punted for a 37-yard average in the first half of play, standing back on his 19-yard line. Danny Reese is deep for the Buccaneers. High kick and a bit short. Reese moving up on it, decides to let it bounce. Dropped at the 34-yard line by Eddie Lewis, number 22. There's the first half statistics for you. Pretty even as you look at them.
There is no advantage anywhere. Time of possession, the Bucs had it about a minute more. They have about 6 more yards. I'll tell you what, it's an even game. The score is even. The stats are even. What else is even?
That's it. 1st and 10 as Mike Ray leads the Buccaneers up to the line of scrimmage. Former Southern Cal All-American. Ray comes out throwing to start the second half. The pass intended for Larry Mucker at the 48-yard line was low. Odom, number 42, was back there defending. Ray led his team, of course, to the Rose Bowl, playing quarterback for John McKay, and was most valuable player on the Southern Cal team his senior year, and most valuable player in the Pac-8. And that's interesting because that team included people like Sam Cunningham, Lynn Swan, among several others. Played in Canada for 3 years, and a backup man a couple of years at Oakland before coming to the Bucs for a draft choice this season. Again, Mucker, the intended receiver, had it for a moment but couldn't hold it. So the Buccaneers' strategy is to come out throwing the football to start the second half. Again, it was Ricky Odom, number 42, on coverage.
Another interesting fact about Mike Ray is that he kicked field goals. He used to kick field goals and extra points. He was 8 of 10 in college.
Really? San Francisco closes at Detroit next week, and the Buccaneers will be back home against New Orleans. That's a tough match, I'll tell you. Archie Manning has played some kind of football this year for the New Orleans Saints.
5 defensive backs in for the 49ers.
3rd and 10. The blitz is on as they flush Ray out of the pocket. He had Owens wide open at the 40-yard line of San Francisco and led him too much.
Morris Owens is frustrated, too, as you see the San Diego score. Here's a little bit of a surprise, of course, off of what they did to the Bears last Monday night, but it's San Diego 20-10 at the halftime. That time, Ray just missed Morris Owens there. He was open. Should have been a completion. He has not thrown well today.
Green in to do the punting. Steptoe is the defense. 49ers have 3 men back. Steptoe moving up on it. Fumbles the ball at the 38-yard line. Scramble forward, and I believe the 49ers came up with it. Dean Moore, number 53, makes the fumble recovery, and the 49ers take over at their 39-yard line with 12 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the 3rd period of a tie game. San Francisco 3, Tampa Bay 3. That Denver-Kansas City score has been at 10-3 for some time now. Broncos leading in the 3rd period of play. Our score, Tampa 3 and San Francisco 3.
Denver was 9-5 going into that game.
Yeah, they can wrap up the division, I think, with a victory in that game, since they've beaten Oakland twice. 1st and 10, 49ers from their 39. Scott Bull out to Hofer at the far sideline. Hofer is at midfield before he's knocked out of bounds in front of the bench of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Cecil Johnson, number 56, in the stop. That should be good enough for a first down. If everything's in order, Paul Hofer, most valuable player on the San Francisco 49ers of 1978, started the season as a backup to O.J. Simpson.
They sure haven't gone to Paul Seal much. He's not a bad receiver. They're tight end. Maybe they might pull a surprise here and try and hit the big guy.
Hofer has now rushed for 20 yards on 9 carries, so not much there rushing for the 49ers, but you wouldn't expect him to move the ball that well against one of the top-rated defenses in the league. Here's Bull. Boy, look at him dance back and forth. Ended up losing a couple of yards in the play, but he gave those defensive linemen a run for their money.
Let's take a look at Paul Seal. While Scott Bull was running around there, Paul says, "I'm open." They kind of left him alone there, and then the scramble. This is the way a receiver should react, though. Keep running around until maybe he might spot you. And then he takes a hit there. David Lewis was the principal defender on the tackle.
The principal defender. 2nd down at 11. Kenny Harrison is wide to the left side. Jack Steptoe is flanked to the right as Scott Bull calls the signals. Slips the ball to Farrell, and Farrell is caught at the 49-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by number 33, Mark Cotney. Good block from Keith Vonhorst, number 71.
And Paul Seal, as Hannah rushed to the outside, creating a natural hole there, and there's Mark Cotney on the tackle.
3rd down. 49ers still need 9 for the first down from the Tampa Bay 49-yard line. Steptoe to the right side, Harrison to the left. Good protection for Bull, who tries to go over the middle, and it's picked off. Intercepted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 34, Cedric Brown. 2nd interception against the 49ers today.
Well, he was going to go for Paul Seal. He was trying to hit Seal. They banged Seal at the line of scrimmage, and he went down to turn his little turn in. And there was Cedric Brown to make the interception. Time to throw, but double coverage on the tight end. You're going to see 2 Tampa Bay defenders there. Dewey Selman was around, and the pass was not the best pass in the world as Tampa Bay has the ball.
1st and 10, Bucs ball at their 44-yard line. Now as Mucker in motion, the handoff went to Johnny Davis, who dives over the right side out to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 2 on the play. Archie Reese, number 78, who's been a real find this year. Reese, the left defensive end, is filling in for the injured Cleveland Elam, who's been virtually no use to the 49ers for the last couple of months. Interesting thing about Reese is he was a walk-on in college. at Clemson. Not only turned out to be a fine college football player, but is an excellent pro as a rookie. 2nd and 8. Extra defensive back in there for the San Francisco 49ers. Mike Ray didn't like what he saw, so he elects to call a timeout with 10 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the third period here at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. We'll rejoin you shortly. Well, Mike Ray has conferred with John McKay in the Tampa Bay offense. Apparently he's got things straightened out. As we head back to play, it'll be a 2nd down 7. Tampa Bay from its own 47-yard line. As Ray looks over the defensive alignment, he's got Larry Bucker wide to the right side as Frank Grant split to the left. Pitch goes to Lewis Carter. Carter cutting back inside is stopped at the 50-yard line. After a pickup of 3 in the play, that'll set up 3rd down, and the Bucs still will need 4 yards for the first down as Ed Bradley, number 54, makes the stop.
Jim Obradovich was in. He's playing some, now alternating with Giles.
That's not the most impressive 3rd down conversion statistic you'll ever see. But it pretty well tells the story this afternoon for either side. Neither side has really had a good long ball control type drive. Ray rolling out of the pocket, going to try to pick it up himself. He does, as he dives forward to the 41-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Harris making the stop. 1st down, Tampa Bay.
Mike Ray saw what was happening. They doubled both outside wide receivers, so he just rolled out, only needed the 4 yards, tucked the ball away, and then takes his dive to get the 1st down. Good play by Mike Ray.
So the Bucs moving now at the 41-yard line. There in San Francisco's end of the field. Bucker in the slot off to the left side. Got both receivers to the left. Ray looks right. Then comes back down the middle for Frank Grant, and it is intercepted. And run back out of the end zone by Chuck Chris to the 49ers. Chris is at the 20-yard line and out of bounds at the 31.
Chuck Chris with his 6th interception of the season. And Mike Ray threw into the double coverage as Chris was the safety, and he threw it. Anytime that wide receiver gets in there, even with those goalposts, you're going to have double coverage. And there was Chris making the interception, decides to run out of the end zone, takes off downfield, gives San Francisco good field position.
Go 49ers, Steve DeBerg, number 17, has replaced Scott Bull as the 49ers try to get their offense going. They've got both wide receivers to the left side. Handoff goes to Farrell, and Farrell gets maybe a yard or so, and that's about it. They're just not running at all against this Tampa Bay defense. Richard Wood, 54, Bill Kohler, number 77 on the stop. Let's tell you a little bit about Steve DeBerg. Steve's out of San Diego State, was a low draft choice last year by Dallas. Cowboys kept him until the last cut and released him. He was picked up by the 49ers, sat on their bench all of last year, and this year looked good in preseason and was given the starting job at the start of the regular season. And the 49ers got rid of the incumbent Jim Plunkett. Here's DeBerg over the middle, and it's intercepted by Tampa Bay, Aaron Brown. And the Bucs get it right back. So DeBerg doesn't have any more luck than Scott Bull does.
Well, that was the reason he was benched earlier in the year, is because he threw so many interceptions. The 49ers have had 30 now, I believe, or 31. He's just not able to spot the linebackers. Aaron Brown just sneaked in there and made that interception, puts Tampa Bay in great position. Good play by Aaron Brown. But DeBerg had so many interceptions, they went to Scott Bull, who had a little bit more experience, feeling that they didn't want to maybe destroy DeBerg's confidence because he had a young team and he was a young quarterback.
Bucs have the ball at the 35-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Uh-oh, the razzle-dazzle. Mucker on the carry. Mucker is at the 30. They pick up a 5 on the play. Chuck Chris, number 24, on the stop for San Francisco. Hey, the 49ers today eclipsed a new record. Most interceptions on a year. We'll remind you that the CBS Sports Spectacular will have a new look for 1979. Boxing every week with top-ranked fighters. The 3rd annual Hollywood Stunt Competition. World Cup skiing, much, much more. Look for it on the new look of the CBS Sports Spectacular for 1979. Coming into this game, the 49ers' worst interception record on the year was 29 in a single season. Well, they've thrown 3 this afternoon. Bull has thrown 2, and DeBerg now has thrown 1. On 2nd and 5, Mike Ray takes his lumps back at the 40-yard line. You get the impression that no one is ever going to score again in this football game.
We could have a 3-3 overtime. This game has been played between the 30 and 30s all day long. Mark Nichols in on the tackle that time.
6 minutes, 49 seconds left in the 3rd period. Bucs will have a 3rd down 15 at the 40-yard line of San Francisco. And they have yet to convert a 3rd down. They're 0 out of 8 now in 3rd down conversion.
What's San Francisco? They must not be much better. Here they come, here they come.
The blitz was on, and Ray couldn't get out of it. And was dropped back at the 49-yard line.
Here comes everybody from San Francisco. Jimmy Webb is the one that got through there for the tackle, as they brought 3 linebackers, and you just can't block them all. Good defensive call. Tampa Bay will be forced to punt, and I'm beginning to think more and more that we will have a 3-3 overtime.
Well, the Bucs had excellent field position at the 35-yard line of San Francisco, and they wind up losing 16 yards in 3 plays. We get a flag as Steptoe fields the punt back at the 10, 15, 20. Stopped at the 21-yard line. Charlie White, number 28, made the stop. We had a penalty marker on the play. You asked about the 49ers' 3rd down conversions. They're 4 out of 10. That's not too bad. Penalty is against the Bucs. Illegal receiver downfield. Let's see if the 49ers decide to make them punt it again, or if they'll take that return.
I think they're going to have them punt once again.
Now, as we mentioned at halftime, I got the impression it's going to be a big play. You know, pass interception for a touchdown, punt run back for a score. And that's, by the way, they're going to decide it, because I seriously question if either team's offense is capable of driving long enough for a touchdown at this point.
Ineligible member of the kicking team, downfield, number 41, 4th down.
Thank you, Mr. Bob Frederick.
As we make these comments about the offenses, we got to, keep everything in perspective. Both teams have really been riddled by hurt people on the offense. And you take an O.J. Simpson and a McAfee out, and a Ricky Bell and Doug Williams.
That time may have been the 49ers offside. Got the flags down. Steptoe on the return up the middle to about the 35-yard line. Bunch of flags all over the place. Randy Johnson, number 65, makes the stop. Offside, San Francisco.
With the field position that San Francisco has after this punt return, you'd think that Tampa Bay will take the penalty and punt again. So it's going to take us 5 minutes to get a change of possession here.
Number 52 of the defense offside, 4th down.
That's it. They're just going to do it till they get it right.
Green to do the punting, standing back at the 35-yard line. Pretty good boot. Steptoe back at the 6. Gets a block to the 15, 20. And we get a couple more flags. I think this time it will be a clip.
I think on Greg Boykin.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe you can see it here.
Number 33 throws the clip right there on Rick Bonas, I believe.
49ers will get the football, but they'll have it deep in their own territory after the walk-off and the clipping infraction. I think we're going to be here a while. Ball is moved back to the 9-yard line.
Holding number 33 on the return team.
Was that holding? Looked more like a clip to me, but it comes out the same result.
First down, San Francisco at the 9. Kenny Harrison wide to the right side. DeBerg hands off to Hofer, and Hofer is caught at the line of scrimmage. Bill Kohler, number 77, and Mark Cockney, number 33, in the stop. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS features this lineup of regional games. Cowboys and the Jets. That doesn't mean much right now. New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Giants at Philadelphia.
That'll be an important one for Philadelphia.
Right. San Francisco, Detroit, which is meaningless. Atlanta, St. Louis, which is important. Minnesota, Oakland, certainly very important. And so is Green Bay, Los Angeles. Those will be the doubleheader games. 2nd and 10. Farrell trying to sneak through. Back to about the line of scrimmage. 49er offense has suddenly gotten a bit conservative here, and that brings down a few boos from above. Dave Pear, number 76, makes the stop. John McKay looking on.
You have to know what John McKay's thinking with all those injuries. Let's get this season over and start next year with all my people healthy, and things look good down the line with some of the people that he does have. A good, solid defense and an offense that has some people that are hurt that are going to be well next year.
3rd down, 9. San Francisco, as you saw, 4 out of 10 on the 3rd down conversion. DeBerg looking long, and he's got an arm. Freddie Solomon, the intended receiver, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Jarris White, number 45 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they'll take over at their 39-yard line. DeBerg got out of the pocket very nicely here as he shoots out to the right, and then he does prove that he can throw the ball a long way, almost the goal line. Let's see where it ends up as Jarris White makes the interception. Almost 60 yards in the air. Freddie Solomon makes the tackle, but Tampa Bay has the interception and the football at the 39-yard line. Game still tied 3-3. On 3rd down long, that DeBerg interception was probably just as good as a punt, right?
Well, that's one way to put it. He's got 2 interceptions. He's only been in for about 5 minutes. Things aren't going well for Steve DeBerg.
Tampa Bay has 4 interceptions on the afternoon, but they haven't been able to capitalize. Mike Ray completes a pass to Larry Mucker, who's knocked out of bounds at the 50-yard line. That'll be good for a gain of 11 yards. And should be a first down for the Buccaneers as Ricky Odom makes the stop. Neither team's been able to move the football on the ground.
Ricky Odom had a good game last week. He sat around for a couple of weeks after he was let go and came in here cold and did a good job last week. Now
Ray is 8 out of 18. That's Mucker in motion. To Obradovich, who carries to the 44-yard line of the 49ers. Pickup of 6 yards in that play. Obradovich last year at this time was in a San Francisco uniform and in fact caught a couple of passes in the victory by the 49ers over Tampa Bay. A pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd down 4 at the 44. Bucs have had 6 turnovers.
No, 49ers.
Well,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
6 turnovers.
I got you.
And they've got a grand total of 3 points. To show for it. On 2nd and 4, Carter will be close for the first down at the 41-yard line. Mark Nichols, number 58, making the stop for San Francisco. Extra tight end sent in by John McKay, who's got both Giles and Obradovich in here on the 3rd down and short yardage situation. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left in the 3rd period. marker down on the play. It'll be close for the first down. I think he picked up enough for the first down, but let's see what the penalty is. Archie Reese, 78. Dan Buns, 57 on the stop. There's the indication given that it is a first down.
What was the penalty?
Yeah, what was the penalty? Maybe it was an accidental flag. I don't know. They picked up the flag, put it back in the pocket. After the brief conference, Houston in front of New Orleans in the fourth period, 10-7. Earl Campbell is playing for the Oilers. Oakland had an extra point attempt blocked against Miami. That's now the third period. First and 10, Bucs at the 40-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Nice hole over the left side for Johnny Davis. And Davis gets inside the 30, down to the 29, and that looks like it may be good for another first down.
They caught San Francisco in a blitz that time, and Johnny Davis, who has been hurt, shows that he's not hurt all that much as he drives and keeps those legs going and gets a nice gain and a first down for Tampa Bay in field goal territory.
That is 3 first downs now in a row in this drive for the Buccaneers. No one, neither side, has put together more than 2 first downs in any drive here in the second half. Carter, as the Bucs continue to run it well. Carter carries to the 21 for a pickup of 9. Ed Gallagher, number 75, on the tackle.
They're coming back against the grain on a delay, and watch the back slash back, almost like a counter. And they're catching San Francisco flowing with the play. Steve Wilson threw a good block for Tampa Bay.
Nose of the ball is just outside the San Francisco 20-yard line. It is second down, 1 needed for the first down. Carter has the first down. We may have had a fumble on the play. We did, and San Francisco recovered.
You had to know it was going to happen. You had to know the way this football game has gone today. Tampa Bay on their first real consistent drive of the game. And I really didn't spot the fumble when it happened. Let's see if we can spot it now. Just as it was going down, most of the players don't even know it's loose. Except Cedric Hardman. And he says, our ball, number 86. He made the call.
So it's a first down. Look at 9 turnovers in the game now. Bucs have given it up 3 times. The 49ers have given the ball away 6 times. 4 times in interceptions. Score still tied at 3. We're in the final minute of play in the third period. Steve DeBerg at quarterback. Little hit screen out to Kenny Harrison. Harris coming all the way back this side. 20, 25, and dropped at the 28-yard line after a pickup of 5 yards. Mark Cockney, number 33, in the stop.
Pretty good play. The wide receiver screen right, and Kohler just overruns him here. And then Harrison does the rest by himself as he keeps dipping back against the grain. And Mark Cockney sure makes a lot of key tackles for Tampa Bay. He was the last man there and makes a good tackle to prevent Harrison from going any further. But it still may be a first down.
I got to measure. Gain was close to 10 yards in the play. Of course, Harrison did a lot of running. They did get the first down. First and 10. San Francisco 49ers at their own 28-yard line.
Steve Knutson, number 60, comes in for San Francisco.
They've got 30,931 in attendance here today. That includes almost 15,000 no-shows. Denver leading Kansas City in the fourth period now. 17-3. Our score, Tampa 3, San Francisco 3. Nice catch by Harrison, but he did not come down inbound, so the reception is not allowed.
Nice reception, though, by Kenny Harrison. He ought to get a half a reception for that in the statistics. Good catch.
14 seconds left to play in the third period.
The 49ers are shuttling their plays with guards right now.
A game of turnovers, as you have seen. Total of 9 in the football game so far. Step throw to the right side. Harrison is split to the left. Steve DeBerg calling the signal. We get a marker down as Greg Boykin takes the handoff and moves out for a first down at the 39-yard line.
Greg Boykin out of Northwestern puts on a little effort there as he gets a good haul and then turns it on, and you're going to see 4 Tampa Bay tacklers right at the last second as he goes down, and he takes his punishment there. Boy, you talk about gang tackling. There it is, Tampa Bay. That's why they're so good on defense.
All for naught, however, as the 49ers were in motion.
Illegal motion, number 87, offense.
Well, that'll move it back to the 23-yard line. It is second down, 15. We've got 8 seconds left in the third period. Harrison to the right side, step toe to the left. Step toe in motion across the backfield. Another flag as DeBerg pitches to Hofer, and Hofer is corralled behind the line of scrimmage at the 29-yard line.
I believe several of the 49ers moved too soon. Ken Harrison was one of them, number 83.
Another motion penalty against San Francisco. Tampa Bay may elect to decline this one because there's a loss of a yard of the play.
Dewey Selman on the conversation there.
Illegal motion, number 83, offense, declined. Third down.
That should take care of the third period with 1 second left in the clock. Third down. San Francisco needs 19 for the first down. Back on their own 19-yard line. Hofer is nailed at the 22-yard line, and that marks the end of the third quarter of play from Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California. We now pause for a word from your local station. The final period of play we go at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. There's the penalty rundown. They've had quite a few declined in addition to those. Fourth down, 49ers need 14, and Connell is in to do the punting. High kick and very short. Out of bounds at midfield. So the Bucs again will get excellent field position at the 50-yard line. To start this drive, it'll be interesting to see if they can move the ball as well as it did last time they had it, particularly on the ground. They put together 3 first downs in a row, and then finally wound up losing it on a fumble down at the 20.
The field is entirely in shadows now, so it's cooled off considerably. I would guess 40 degrees maybe. I'm wondering what the temperature is in Tampa today. Probably about 80.
I'd say 80, 85 would be a pretty good guess this time of year. We were down there last weekend for the golf tournament, the mixed team championships. It was about 85. Here's Mike Ray. Sideline throw to Carter. Carter is dropped at the 45-yard line. Pick up a 5 on the play. Ed Bradley, number 54, on the stop.
One thing that Lewis Carter has established today is that he is a good pass receiver out of the backfield. Catches the ball very well.
He caught 6 last week against Green Bay. And he has caught 3 now this afternoon. Ray is 10 out of 20 for a total of 97 yards. Second down, 5. Bucs at the San Francisco 45. Johnny Davis getting the call. Davis fights off a couple of tackles and picks up 3 of the 5 that he needs for the first down at the 42-yard line. It'll be third down and 2. They're popping pretty good down there.
Yes, they were hitting there. As you're going to see Davis get manhandled. There's Reese gets a hold of him, and then here comes a hit right there by Bob Shuri, who made the main hit, but there were several 49ers in on the tackle. Good, hard football being played down there. Hard-nosed game. Not too many points, but at least they're playing.
49ers, or rather the Buccaneers, have 2 tight ends in there. Third down and 2 at the 42-yard line. Throws wide open. Oh, great catch by Carter. Ball is knocked out of bounds, but it'll be a first down for the Bucs at the 25. Boy, he has something with that one-handed catch, isn't he?
Yes, he ought to quit using two hands. Just use one hand all the time. A good call by Tampa Bay. He has to turn completely around, grabs it with one hand, just like the Globetrotters, and then fumbles, but not before he had possession of the ball, and it goes out of bounds. A first down for Tampa Bay.
So the Bucs, with their most serious threat here of the second half, are down to the 25. Well, they were down to the 20 on their last possession when Carter fumbled. Second man throws Carter, and Carter carries it to the 22-yard line. Ed Gallagher, number 75, wraps him up. Lewis Carter, University of Maryland. His team will be in the Sun Bowl game December 23rd against Texas, his old college team, and of course we'll have that for you on CBS.
Of course, if they do have to settle for the field goal, Dave Green will have to do it, and of course he hasn't been doing it this year.
That's right. They better get a little closer after watching that first field goal of his just barely creep over the bar. Of course, that was from 35 yards out. Pitch to Carter, and Carter cuts back inside to the 20-yard line. It'll be third down. They'll still need 5 for the first down. Cedric Hardman, number 86, and Archie Reese, number 78, wraps him up.
How did O'Donohue get hurt? Was it making a tackle on a
Yes.
kickoff return?
I understand he sprained a knee. Third down. Big play for the Bucs here. They need 5 for the first down. They're at the 20-yard line of the San Francisco 49ers. Score tied at 3. 12 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the game.
Big call right here.
Mucker, number 87, in motion. Big rush, and Ray is down at the 30-yard line. That cost them dearly. That's the one thing they didn't want, is a loss on the play. That may be beyond Green's field goal range. We'll see.
Here comes the blitz by San Francisco. Bradley's in there, Cedric Hardman, and Mike Ray had no chance. And like you said, they didn't want the loss, because now they're really in a situation that they're out of field goal range, and I'm not sure they're going to punt. Isn't it fourth down?
Fourth down. That is the 6th time, by the way, that Ray has been sacked. So he's still having problems in that department. 37 sacks.
Well, they're going for it.
They are going to go for it. Fourth down. 15 needed for the first down. They go with the razzle-dazzle. Mucker on the end around. 30, 25, and caught at the 23-yard line. Not enough for the first down. So San Francisco will take over. Bob Jury, number 26, on the stop.
And it was a great play by Bob Jury, because they had that set up. It looked like he might make it for a moment as they came in with some razzle-dazzle. As Mucker goes around, number 26 is being blocked, but he gets away from it and makes the tackle.
Lever along with Johnny Morris back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And the question is anybody going to score in this game? Miami has scored on Oakland. Norm Bulash in a 5-yard run, so Miami leads that one 13-6. And Seattle, San Diego, let's see. Dan Fouts has hit Larry Burton, 55-yard touchdown pass. 27-10 now in favor of the Chargers. Our score, 3-3. 49ers with a 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line. They've turned it over 6 times. Tampa's turned it over 3 times. Little hitch screen out to Hofer, and Hofer is dragged out of bounds at the 25. Dave Lewis, number 57, on the stop for the Bucs.
Well, Tampa Bay had a 4th and 14 and chose to go for it, but the way their defense has been holding San Francisco, actually it's not a bad situation, not a bad call. What the heck? You're on the 30-yard line. If you don't make it, you have San Francisco fairly well bottled up, considering the way that their offense has not moved the ball.
Steve DeBerg, who's thrown 2 interceptions, has that one tipped on him. Pass falls incomplete.
What kind of odds you give me on double overtime?
Oh, you can't play double overtime anymore.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Only in championship games.
That's right. Only in the playoffs. Otherwise, I think we would be here probably a long time. Hall of fan reaction across the way apparently is, well, they've got some banners I think they're confiscating. They've had a lot of anti-Joe Thomas banners out here in San Francisco.
Nothing like fun at the old ball yard.
Yeah. DeBerg floats it out for Harold. Makes the catch at the 45-yard line. First down, 49ers. Mike Washington defensively. He put that one right in there, didn't he?
He certainly did, and they were coming after him. Dave Pear and Dewey Selman, everybody was after him. He hung his ground there and threw the ball perfectly to Harrison right in between two Tampa Bay defenders. Good play.
First down for the 49ers at their 46. Up the middle, gets it out to the 48-yard line. Pickup of 2 yards in the play. 49ers with a record of 1-13. This would be the worst record in the history of the franchise. Look at Red Hickey coached here once upon a time. They had a year where they went 2-12, I believe. And Hickey was replaced that same season during the season by Jack Christensen. Second down. Call it 7. DeBerg. Sideline throw is caught and is complete at the 40-yard line of Tampa Bay as Harrison made a fine catch of that pass from Steve DeBerg.
Looks like Harrison's having his best game of the year.
Well, DeBerg now, after throwing a couple interceptions, has got it together. 2 out of 5 for 43 yards. Here's Joe Thomas, the general manager of the 49ers, who's taken a lot of heat this year. In fact, ever since he's been here. Greg Boykin goes out of bounds, or is run out of bounds at the 38-yard line after a pickup of just a couple of yards in the play by Richard Wood, number 54. DeBerg looking over to the sidelines. I tell you, Dallas thought that DeBerg was just an excellent prospect. And it went right down to the wire last year before they cut him, between he and Glenn Carano, their number 2 draft pick last year, who is still on the club. 49ers obviously think a lot of him. Now, let's see, did he trap it or did he catch it?
I believe they're giving him a reception. Some pretty good catches by the 49er receivers the past few minutes.
Jack Steptoe on the receiving end of that pass, and Steptoe limps off the field. That's a first down for San Francisco. Ball is at the 28-yard line. Of course, normally when you wind up with the worst record, like we see, you get the first draft choice. But they've traded that away to Buffalo in the O.J. Simpson deal. So the 49ers don't even have that as balm. Well, we may see a genuine scoring drive here. Who knows? Pretty good drive started back at the 23-yard line. DeBerg on a messed up play carries to the 22. Richard Wood, number 54, in the stop. This is far and away the 49ers' longest drive of the second half.
They are within field goal range at the 22.
And they've got a guy kick pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, Wershing is no slouch.
We have 8 minutes and 58 seconds left in this ball game.
49ers have a second down 4 with the ball at the 22-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Steve DeBerg at the throttle.
He has to avoid that big mistake that has plagued him this year.
DeBerg. Passes. Alice, let's see what it's ruled. Let's see what the ruling is. It's a Tampa Bay recovery. They're ruling it a fumble, apparently.
Well, the judgment is, did his arm go forward? Had it gone forward, they're ruling it a fumble, and I believe they're correct. It looked like his arm went forward after the ball had been knocked loose.
So the recovery by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the 49ers give the ball away for the 7th time in this game. Normally, a team gives up the ball 7 times. You figure they're completely out of the game, right? And here we are tied at 3-all. As Tampa Bay has not been able to capitalize on any of these turnovers. They get a whistle. Hold everything.
Joe Harris has still got the ball. Run, Joe. Get down to the end zone just in case. You never know.
Illegal procedure against Tampa Bay is the indication.
But the play was blown dead, so... But Joe says, I'm going to do my job. Get that ball and go to the end zone. Way to go, Joe. You never know.
Mike Ray is questioning some of the officials about that call.
Illegal formation, number 70 on the offense.
They must have had too many, not enough men on the line of scrimmage somehow.
That's Darryl Carlton.
He thought he was a tight end for the play, maybe.
8 minutes, 26 seconds to go. If we don't go overtime. Johnny Davis in the backfield along with Lewis Carter. They've been running the ball well. Mucker, the intended receiver. That'll be 2nd down, 15 for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Ray has been sacked 6 times. But coming into this game, he is sacked on an average of once every 3.9 pass attempts. Dolphins are in front of the Raiders 16-6. Second and 15. It out. Frank Grant, the intended receiver.
It just got out of Mike Ray's range. He just could not get it that far. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. San Francisco with a normal 4-man rush. Ray waits, and then gave it all he had, but it was way short. Odom and Grant were too far down the field, and it goes as an incompletion. And that stat that you just said, he gets sacked once every 3.9 times that he goes back to pass. When you stop to consider that probably half of their passes are short type of passes where you're not going to get a sack, that goes down considerably. Maybe 1 out of 2 times.
3rd down, 15. Bucs at their 27-yard line. Hand off to Carter. We get a penalty marker. Archie Reese, number 78, saying hello to Lewis Carter. A lot of penalties in this football game, and of course we've had quite a few that have been turned down. Offside against San Francisco. So the Bucs will get another shot at it. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 32.
Defense, number 86, offside.
'49er defense. There's Cedric Hardman. Fine defensive end down through the years.
5 defensive backs in for San Francisco. It's going to be a normal 4-man rush. They're going to give him the short pass.
Ray for the tight end, Obradovic. Obradovic makes the catch, and the Tampa Bay Bucs have a first down at the 48 of San Francisco.
Nice play, good timing. Obradovic found the hole. That's what a good tight end has to do. And it just seems so easy when they do it the right way, doesn't it?
Wonder Mounds, number 25 on the tackle for the San Francisco 49ers. Bucs with a first down at the 48-yard line. They showed they could run the football a bit earlier. See if they'll go back to the ground game here. Frank Grant wide to the right side. Mucker is split to the left. Davis and Carter are the setbacks. That's Davis in motion. Pitch goes to Carter. We got another flag. Carter's been running well. Gets it down to the 41-yard line. Let's see who this penalty is against. This will be the 14th penalty of the afternoon overall. Joe Harris and Archie Reese on the stop. Illegal motion against Tampa and holding. I guess they got him twice.
That's right.
Maybe these teams, I'm sure part of the reason for the penalty is some of the newcomers in the lineup again, but normally this time of year, obviously you don't have anywhere near as many penalties in the ballgame.
Offensive holding, number 75. Illegal motion, the offense is refused.
Holding, of course, is the 10-yard walk-off.
Dave Revis got the penalty for holding.
So the Bucs are back in their end of the field now at the 43-yard line. They have a first down and 20. 7:16 left to play in regulation. Mike Ray under pressure lets it go for Grant, but it's going to be way over his head. Well, he and Grant obviously haven't quite gotten it together. He threw it short the last time, and this time he throws a little bit too long for the speedster.
Grant had run an out and up. He went down 12 yards, turned out, and then turned up the field. But he didn't get enough time to come out of his move to go for the deep pass. So we have another passing situation here for Tampa Bay as this game continues to stay between the 30 and the 30.
Second down, 20 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from their own 43-yard line. In case you joined us late, you haven't missed anything. A couple of field goals, what you've missed, really. 28-yarder by Wurzing, 35-yarder by Dave Green. On second and 20, out it comes to Jimmy Giles, the tight end. Giles, of course, came from the Houston Oilers as part of the Earl Campbell trade. 6-yard pickup on the play. It'll be third down and 13 as Bob Jury comes up to make the stop.
One aspect of this game is that if Tampa Bay wins, it will be their 6th win of the season, and they could maybe win next week. That would be 7 wins. Pretty good for a third-year expansion team that didn't win a game the first year.
They didn't win a game last year until the last two weeks.
Yeah. And having suffered all the injuries, so.
See if they can keep it going here. Third down and 13. Pressure on Mike Ray, the quarterback, trying to get it to Obradovic, who was open. Mounds trailing him. But they couldn't hook it up together, so Tampa Bay will be punting with 6:21 left. Here's Green, one of the better punters in the National Football League. Ranked number 4 in the NFC statistics coming into this game today. Jack Steptoe is the deep man. Lines this one to Steptoe at the 13, 15. And down at the 18-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the San Francisco 49ers with the score remaining. Tampa Bay 3, San Francisco 3. Frank Lieber along with Johnny Morris back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 49ers first and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They had a pretty good drive going last time they had their hands on the football. And lost it on a fumble, their 7th turnover. Steve DeBerg comes out throwing. Flooding it to Paul Hofer, and that's going to be good for just about enough of the first down. Boy, he put it right in there between 2 defenders, including David Lewis, number 57.
Let's watch Hofer as he comes out. The pass had to be perfect because he was well covered by Lewis. Makes the reception between 2 Tampa Bay defenders, and it's very close to a first down. In fact, it is for San Francisco.
Measurement determines that the 49ers did pick up the first down. So first and 10, San Francisco's ball at their 29-yard line. We have not had a score here in the second half. Steve DeBerg on in relief of Scott Bull. DeBerg started the first 10 games of the season for the 49ers and then relegated to the bench because he was interception prone. Good protection for DeBerg out to Greg Boykin. Boykin carries it to the 37-yard line for a pickup of 8 on the play. Cecil Johnson, number 56, makes the stop for Tampa Bay. Well, you never know. In a game like this, you get inside maybe the 2-minute warning, and all of a sudden they will open up. We'll see all kinds of offense, but we haven't seen it so far, really.
I told you it was going to be a really exciting.
You really did, John.
I said it was going to be close.
Did you say it was close or exciting? Of course, they are proving here today that close and exciting are not exactly synonymous. Boykin dragged out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. Mike Washington, number 40, on the tackle. Very steady player in the Buccaneers secondary this year.
That's the one area where Tampa Bay has not suffered too much in the way of injuries in the defensive backfield. They've had pretty much the same fellas back there. They hit hard and they played good football.
Third down. 49ers need 2 for the first down. They've sent in another tight end in the short yardage situation as they try to keep this drive going. Up the first down as he carries to the 43.
Good block by Walt Downing, number 62, as Hofer sees the hole, goes through, and follows Downing. Good power blocking there, and gets the first down for San Francisco.
Dave Williams, number 30, checks into the backfield, and Hofer will get a rest.
Looks like he's hurt.
Yeah. Left hand. He'll get that looked at. Clock moving with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the game. Score tied at 3. First and 10, San Francisco. DeBerg gets the pass away to Williams. Williams at the 50-yard line. Run out of bounds at the 45. That's 12 yards and another San Francisco first down. Jarris White makes the stop. 49ers are moving. You can see the moon coming up over Candlestick Park. Lights are on. Field bathed in shadows here. 30,000 in attendance today with almost 15,000 no-shows. Imagine they lead the league in no-shows here in San Francisco this year. This drive started back at the 20-yard line. DeBerg. Deep drop out to Williams, 50, 45, and lost his footing after a pickup of just 1 yard. Mike Washington again on the stop.
You notice his hip pads on Williams there. He's got him sticking up out of his pants. A lot of players believe they've got to have that because of the hip pointers, which is such a painful injury, but not serious.
3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Second down, 9. 49ers at the Tampa Bay 45.
They're doubling both wide receivers.
Williams carries to the 41-yard line. Bill Kohler, number 77, makes the stop for the Buccaneers. It'll be third down. They'll need 5 for the first down. Clock continues to grind toward that 2-minute warning. 2 minutes and 55 seconds right now, and counting. Blitz is on. Good protection for DeBerg, who hits Harrison. That's a first down for San Francisco at the 33. Jarris White, number 45, on the stop.
The Buccaneers are claiming that he did not catch the ball. Pretty good pass protection for DeBerg this time. The San Francisco showing signs of moving the ball much better the last few minutes, and that's a reception as far as I can see.
I think so. There's the clock moving down to the 2-minute warning. They may or may not get this play underway before the 2-minute signal.
4, 3, 2, 1.
DeBerg's backing up. He's wondering what's going on. He wasn't cognizant of the 2-minute warning. Now he comes over to the sidelines for a word with his head coach, Fred O'Connor. 49ers are driving. They started back at their 20-yard line. A field goal may win it. Exactly 2 minutes left to play in this football game, at least in regulation time. And if someone doesn't score in the next couple of minutes, we'll go to the 15-minute overtime period. 49ers threatening. 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 33-yard line. Safety blitz is on. Dave Williams, the receiver. And Williams caught the ball, and he probably should have let it go because he lost 7 on the play as Jarris White moved up from the secondary.
They had a very delayed safety blitz, and of course they just threw the screen pass out here. And as you said, it might have been better off just to drop the pass because he was so well covered. As
that was Curtis Jordan.
Curtis Jordan, yeah, makes the tackle. Now they're out of field goal range again.
2nd down. 49ers need 16 for the 1st down. They're at the 38-yard line of Tampa Bay. They have the timeouts left. Nice hold for Hofer. And Hofer breaks inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. See if the 49ers call a time here. There's DeBerg looking for some help from the sidelines.
No timeout called. 58 seconds left. 57.
They've got the timeouts to use if they want to use them. That'll set up a 3rd down now. They still need 4 for the 1st down. They have to reach the 23-yard line for the 1st down. They're at the 27. They give it to Hofer. And down to 12.
This drive started at the 20-yard line. Paul Hofer showing why he is a good one. Good blocking on the left side of the San Francisco offensive line. He holds that ball tightly, snugs it in, and puts them down very close. If not the touchdown, the field goal.
Clock continues to roll. They're going to let it grind right down to the point where they want Worthing to try the field goal.
Well, they'll probably send it down to about 2 or 3 seconds.
5 seconds left to play, and here comes the field goal unit. Time is out, and we'll be back in just a moment. We just got saved by Tampa. They just called timeout. Tampa Bay has called a timeout to let Worthing think about it for a second or so, I think. The spot will be at the 20-yard line, which will make it a 30-yard attempt for Ray Worthing as he tries to wrap this one up for San Francisco with 5 seconds left to play in the game. Either he makes it or we will go to overtime.
They're bringing in a new football, which might be 11.5 ounces.
Well, it could be.
And now we play the psychological game here as Tampa Bay is going to be jumping all over the place.
5 seconds to go of a tie game. Worthing with a 30-yard field goal attempt. Scott Bull calling the signals. Here's the snap, the placement. It's long enough. It's good. San Francisco has won its 2nd game of the year. There's the gun. The final score 6-3, and Ray Worthing is mobbed by his teammates as the San Francisco 49ers drive 80 yards. Climax by the 30-yard field goal by Ray Worthing. Final score, San Francisco 6, Tampa Bay 3. Welcome back once again to Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, where it looked like nobody was ever going to score in the second half. But finally, the 49ers put that long drive together at the end of the ball game and wind up winning it 6-3. So Tampa Bay still has the record, I guess, of the only team so far to lose 14 in a single game. But 49ers still got 1 game left.
Yes, I'll tell you, that was a good victory for San Francisco when you take off the fourth quarter, because they did drive 80 yards, and you'd have to say that they deserved the victory off of that drive. And there is the kick once again, as it was right through the uprights for a San Francisco victory. And, of course, Fred O'Connor, the head coach, has got to be happy because every game is important to him. Well, he would like to be the head coach next year.
That's his first victory as a head coach.
That's right.
You know, they won that game earlier under McCulley, but he has not had a victory to his credit, and I'm sure he's worked very hard, and these last 2 games mean a great deal to him, probably as far as his future is concerned as head coach of the 40.
They may give him the game ball. If they do, that's a good indication of how the players feel. So far, he has had a lot of positive comments from the players on the team that they would like to have him back as coach next year. What Joe Thomas is going to do, nobody knows right now because they still have another game to play. But as far as Tampa Bay is concerned, everybody knows they've been banged up offensively. Mike Ray did not have one of his better games. The offense didn't move the ball. Of course, Doug Williams could play next week. Whether they will play him or not with one game, which is meaningless, that remains to be seen. But John McKay's done a great job for the Buccaneers. And I think next year you're going to see a team that is going to be right in the thick of that division race.
It was a case of missed opportunities, really, for Tampa Bay. When you get 7 turnovers, you ought to be able to get more than 3 points out of that.
Well, you got the name of the game is moving the ball, offense. If you can't move the ball, they always talk about defense. Defense, if you don't have a sound defense, you can't do anything. There is some truth to that. But you have got to be able to move the ball when you get it, because you can't score without the ball, right?
That's exactly what happened this afternoon. And we didn't see much scoring, but the 49ers had it when they needed it. Took the final 2 minutes, drove virtually the length of the field, 80 yards, and climaxed by Ray Wersing's 30-yard field goal with 5 seconds left to play on the clock, and that wrapped it up. Final score, San Francisco 6, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3. Johnny Morris.
The NFL Today is sponsored by United Airlines. United invites you to come fly the friendly skies. Firestone, makers of the new steel-belted Radio 721. Ask a friend about Firestone. And by Mobil, your detergent gasoline.
The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.